Alright, so in this video we are going to review linear functions. Specifically, we are going to be reviewing slope-intercept form, which is what you guys all remember as y equals mx plus b. I would recommend that you've got two colors available to you, but that's up to you. First of all, we've got this m, and this m stands for our slope. And if you remember anything about slope, slope is equal to rise over run, which is equal to the change in y over the change in x. And that symbol, this triangle, stands for change in. This b right here, that's just our y-intercept. That one's pretty easy. Nothing funny going on. So now that we remember that, we're going to graph some lines here. So if we look at our equation, here we can see this first equation, y equals 3 over 2x minus 2, that our y-intercept is going to be negative 2. So I'm going to plot that right there at negative 2. Next up, I can see that my slope is 3 over 2. Remember that this is rise over run. And since they are both positive numbers, that means we're going up to the right. Maybe we want to add, that up at the top to our notes on slope, is that if it's positive, it's going up. If it's negative, it's going down on the top. The bottom, if it's negative or positive, it's going to the right. If it's negative, it's going to the left. Alright, so this is positive. So we're going up 3 and to the right 2. So I'm going to use my little laser to show you. So right here, I'm starting at negative 2. I'm going up 1, 2, 3. To the right, 1, 2. So I'm going to make a dot right there. Oop. And then I'm going to go up 3 again, to the right 2. Up 3 again, to the right 2. And if I wanted to reverse it, I could go to the left 2, down 3. To the left 2, down 3. Now I can make a line through all of my points. Hopefully yours is straighter than mine. And voila, we've graphed a line. Next one, we've got a y-intercept of plus 7. So I'm going to put my y-intercept right up here at plus 7. And then my slope is negative 1 over 3. So negative 1 over 3, that means I'm going down 1 and to the right 3. So if I think about that, that's going to look just like this. I'm going to go down, start at my positive 7. I'm going to go down 1 to the right 1, 2, 3. So I'm going to need a dot right there. Down 1 to the right 3, down 1 to the right 3. That's going to look like this. If I reverse it, that means I go to the left 3 and up 1. And my line's going to look like this. Okay, for the next line, we see that there isn't a y-intercept, so that means it's 0. I've got a slope of positive 2. 2 is the same thing as 2 over 1, which means I'm going up 2 to the right 1. So I'm going to go from my y-intercept up 2 to the right 1, up 2 to the right 1, up 2 to the right 1. So I'm going to start putting points there. I can reverse it. I can go to the left 1 and down 2, to the left 1, down 2, to the left 1, down 2. And there's my line. Okay, and this last one's a little weird. You'll notice that it says x equals 1. Let's think of some points where x equals 1. That could be like 1, 0, 1, 2, 1, 3. And if I plot those, that's like this. 1, 0 is right here, 1, 2 is right there, 1, 3. And you can see that this is going to make a line that goes through where x equals 1. Sorry, mine's not very straight. Okay. When you have x equals, that's a vertical line. And if you have y equals, well, we know how to do y equals. All right, now we're going to do kind of the opposite and write equations of lines. In order to do that, we remember that we need the slope and the y-intercept to do y equals mx plus b. So we need to find the slope and we need to find the y-intercept. So the y-intercept is pretty easy. So this first one, our y-intercept is at positive 2, so b equals 2. Once you find the y-intercept, you also want to find a nice point. And what I mean by a nice point is a point that has whole number coordinates. So if I kind of use my laser pointer here, if I follow my line along, I can see that like this is not a very good choice because it's not a whole number coordinates. It's not right on the corners of my grid. But if I go up a little bit more, do you see how this one right here, this one is the point 1, 5. It's got nice whole number coordinates, and I can see that because it intersects two of these lines. So if I make another point there, now I can think about what my rise and my run are in between these. So if I start at my y-intercept, I'm going to go up 1, 2, 3, so that's plus 3, and then to the right 1, so that's plus 1. So my rise over run is equal to plus 3 over plus 1. And remember, I thought about the direction. I went up 3, so it's positive 3. I went to the right 1, so that's positive 1. So now I can simplify that, and positive 3 over positive 1 is just 3. So my equation of my line is y equals 3x plus 2. For my next one, let's find the y-intercept. Here it is, right at negative 1. So b equals negative 1. Then let's find another nice point, and we can see if I kind of trace this along, we get to another nice point right here. And now I want to find the rise and the run. So if I start at my y-intercept, I went down 2, and I went to the right 3, so that's plus 3. So my rise over run, or my slope, is minus 2 over positive 3. Well, a negative divided by a positive is just a negative, so negative 2 over 3, which makes my equation y equals negative 2 over 3x minus 1. Let's try these bottom two. This one we can see is just a horizontal line, and if you remember from the front, a vertical line was x equals a number. If it's a horizontal line, it's just y equals whatever number. It's going to be y equals whatever the y-intercept is. In this case, it's 3. So y equals 3, because everywhere on this line, the y-coordinate of the points is 3. So for example, like right here, that's the point 4, 3. Right here, this is 8, 3. The y-coordinate is always 3. So let's do the last one. Here, the y-intercept is negative 5. So I've got b equals negative 5. I can do my rise over run here. I need to find another nice point. So I look and I see, oh, hey, this looks like a great point to use. So if I start at my y-intercept, I go up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I go to the right 2, so that's positive 2. So my rise over run is equal to positive 5 over positive 2, which we remember is just 5 over 2. So the equation of my line is y equals 5 over 2x minus 5. All right, some more review. We did this when we did literal equations, but we're going to convert these equations from standard form. The equations, as you see them now, these are all equations of lines, but they're in a form that we haven't really used much yet, and we will later in this unit. They're called standard form. But I just want you guys to review how to change these from standard form to slope-intercept form by solving for y. We did this when we did literal equations, and that was in Unit 2. So you're trying to get y by itself. So you're moving the x's over and you're dividing by the number in front of y. So to do that for this first one, I'm going to subtract off 2x from both sides. So on the left-hand side, I'll have 3y equals. Remember that we can't combine the 6 and the minus 2x because they're not like terms. And when we get it in slope-intercept form, it's going to be y equals mx plus b. So I'm going to put the term with the x first. So instead of writing 6 minus 2x, I'm going to write negative 2x plus 6. And it's plus 6 because that 6 is positive. Now, I'm going to divide by 3. And I'm going to divide everything on this side by 3. So I get y equals negative 2 over 3x plus 6 divided by 3 is 2. So now it's in slope-intercept form, y equals mx plus b. Let's do another one. So here we're going to subtract off 5x. I'm going to do minus 2y equals negative 5x plus 20. Then I'm going to divide everything on this side by negative 2. So I get y equals negative 5 divided by negative 2. A negative divided by a negative is a positive, so I'm just going to get rid of the negative signs. And then positive 20 divided by negative 2, that's just negative 10. Last one. I would encourage you to pause this last one and try it yourself. Yeah, so hit pause. Okay, so this one I need to move this x over. So I need to add x to both sides. And remember, an x by itself is just a 1x, so I've got 8y equals 1x plus 10. And now I need to divide everything by 8. And I'm going to get y equals 1 over 8x plus 10 over 8 can be simplified if you divide by 2 on both the top and the bottom. So this is 5 over 4, but it can't be simplified more than that. Okay, the very last thing that we're going to do is find the slope from 2 points. And you may remember that slope is equal to m equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. I think that's probably how you learned it in middle school. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to label my points. I'm going to label these points here. Okay? So remember, I have this formula. I'll rewrite it right here. M equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. And I'm going to label these. So I'm going to say this is x1, y1, because it's the x coordinate and the y coordinate of the first point, and this is x2, y2. So the x coordinate and the y coordinate of my second point. So if I do this, I'm going to do m equals y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1. So now we're just going to start plugging stuff in. So I get this is equal to y2, that was negative 1, minus y1, that was 3, divided by x2, which is 4, minus x1, which is negative 2. So now if I compute this, negative 1 minus 3, remember we can do chop, chop, or change, change. We get negative 4. And then same thing, 4 minus negative 2, chop, chop. 4 plus positive 2, that's 6. Then I can simplify this. Negative 4 divided by 6, that's the same thing as negative 2 over 3. So that's my slope. All right, let's try that again with the next one. All right, here's my giant formula. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do is label my points. I've got x1, y1, x2, y2. So m equals y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1. So let's fill them in. So I've got y2 is negative 9 minus y1 is negative 3 divided by x2, which is negative 2, minus x1, which is 0. So now we're just going to go through and do the subtraction. So remember, negative 9 minus negative 3, I can do chop, chop. Negative 9 plus a positive 3, that's negative 6. Negative 2 minus 0 is just negative 2. Negative 6 divided by negative 2 is a positive 3.